Hi, it's David Tab here, aka PrittiVisious, coming to you live from my work lunch break here in the beautiful Herdsman Lake, Perth, Western Australia. What you can hear behind me is our world famous beautiful black swans on the Swan River. Doing this as a starting video, and I'm recording this as well for people that obviously miss live, as a first of many series of song origins for my songs. My songs, yes, I use a component of AI, but they're all my lyrics and all songs that I've been writing for the last 20 years. The first one I actually want to talk about is through the Aperture, not just the song, but the full album. The album is interesting. Never started as an album or even more than one song. I wanted to create a song around one of the first ever drum and bass tracks that I fell in love with, which is called Champion Sound by Q Project. That's on the top of my head, I think it's the Bad Company remix is the one that I really like. Yes, it shows my age as my 12-year-old says I'm old, an old man, and that's okay. So it was interesting. I wanted to create a sound like that because some songs have amazing vocals. Some songs can tell a story through just instruments alone. I found that the Bad Company remix and that full song by Q Project, Champion Sound, was one of those songs for me. And one of the things I really want to do with PrittiVisious is continually make songs that are unique, both with vocals, without. And through the Aperture was the first one. I wanted to make a sound that was something special and could tell a story on its own. So whilst it is heavily used in a Gore for AI, some of the sample bits in there I actually use from sound samples I've collected from around the world for the last 20 years, which is quite special to me. Now what's interesting is the artwork on the song. So yes, I do use AI tools for a lot of the artwork, but the direction is my own. So basically I was trying to create a sort of retro 80s sci-fi animation style theme for the song, which you can see throughout the album now obviously as well. And when I sort of landed on the through the Aperture animation style, where it sort of looks like it's almost drawn, I knew that was right for the song. Now, the name of the song comes from, we all are facing hardships throughout life, and as I say to a lot of people I mentee, and my family and loved ones, is that life is hard. Your hard's different to mine. Sometimes it's obviously clearly your hard's different and harder than mine, sometimes not. But my point is more, we all have hard things in our life and we all have to make hard choices. Now for me, I've got, you might look at my life and go, it's amazing, you've got so many things, you've got a family and you've been successful at work and you are in a lucky country, I know that, I am very lucky, but it doesn't mean it hasn't been hard as well. So one of the main things for me is, from my view, I ticked a lot of corporate goals and became a CEO of a public tech company for 6 years. But with that, I got burnt out and didn't see much of my family, and had to have a hard choice after 6 years, which was either to continue my career in that space as executive of tech, or to see my family more and actually be a dad and be around. So I thought that was no choice at all. It was an easy choice and chose the family. But it didn't mean it wasn't hard for reasons that I feel that I had more earning capacity at that level, and also there was career goals I'd set personally for myself, but not for my family. So I'm so glad I did choose that a few years ago. But what that meant was I had to reconsider everything in my life, and that is where Through the Aperture came from. Is that first reset that, okay, I've got to go somewhere different. And I'm sure many of you listening to this will have hopefully will have some sort of resonation where you've had to make a hard choice in your life to change it for good or bad, but going through that doorway, taking that step is usually the hardest point, right? And that's where Through the Aperture came from. Now, what's really interesting is that Phase Cascade, the second track, 2 or 3 months later, I still had Through the Aperture in the back of my mind as something I really was proud of. I love not only the sound it created, that was created from the track, the unique sound to, I felt, take you on a journey. I really love the artistic direction of the cover art as well, and that's where I started to create those sort of 80s sci-fi canon videos that you see me do a lot of for the album. And so I wanted to have another crack at that style of music. So back to the Champion sound again. What if I can do another song that's got its own unique sound? And again, yes, I use an AI tool mainly in the gore part of it, but with my own samples throughout the track as well. So I'm pretty proud of that. And again, I wanted to use the same sort of artistic 80s sci-fi retro style, but it looked like almost pencil drawing as well. An interesting Phase Cascade is sort of the next step of that life journey. And again, at the time, I didn't even realise what I was creating in the album and how it follows my life journey over the last sort of 5 years. But Phase Cascade is sort of one of the definitions of the words implies is that everything you thought you knew and you thought you held important has changed. And that doesn't mean it's good or bad, it just means it's a reset. And that means you have to look at it with a fresh set of eyes. I've gone through this new Aperture, I've left the big tech company, I've taken a new fresh step, but for me and my family, which I'm so proud I did, but it's so scary even to this day. And Phase Cascade was, well, I have to not throw away, but drop everything I knew about myself and business and what I wanted to do, and I have to start thinking about, well, what's next? I've done this big change, which is better for me and my family. Well, what does that look like moving forward? How do I, as in my family, I'm the primary breadwinner or the primary money earner, my wife is the primary caregiver, how do I make sure I can protect the income? It's obviously dropping a lot from being a senior tech executive, but have a lot more happiness. And so that's where sort of Phase Cascade came from as the second evolution. And still at that point, I hadn't really thought this was an album. I just thought this was another track, and I liked this journey of it following my life, and it was very cathartic getting out in the world, these two tracks. It wasn't until Drift Vector Flow I realised what I was doing and what I was creating, and that actually aligned with my life journey over the last few years. So fast forward to Drift Vector Flow, and I know it sounds like a really odd name of a track, but I do like how unique it is. After I'd accepted with Phase Cascade and that part of my life that everything had changed, I do feel like, even to this day a little bit, I'm drifting. So yes, I made a right choice for my family and me. What's next? So Drift Vector Flow is about, okay, sort of coasting along, and this is where I found the music path. I found a vector, I found a bit of a direction. Alright, I'm gonna give that a crack, give it a try. So I've tried other parts of IT and not being an executive and making sure I focus more on family, even though I'm on a lot less income. And also tried to go with the flow of music, see where it takes me. No, I'm old versus these youngins trying to have a crack at the music game, but I figured, you know what, everyone's got a story to tell, and music connects all of us. So all of us, all of you, all of me, everyone in the world should have a chance, if they want, should be able to tell their story through music. And so that's what I did. That's what Drift Vector Flow was about. Okay, I've got this new scary but exciting potential vector, multiple vectors. Let's follow them. And that is where the album started to materialize. So from there on out, I realized this is an album. So what is this about? So signal intent then, obviously we found some vectors. We've got a bit of a flow state happening. Well, let's follow those directions. So let's get through the next doorway, and that's where signal intent came from. And again, I wanted to create a unique sound told through just instruments alone, but I also wanted to be different to the first three, and each track I wanted to be different. I wanted me to feel different, and I wanted to hopefully create an environment where it changes how hopefully you feel. And big caveat, I don't want to dictate if my music is something you resonate with. I don't want to dictate what it makes you feel. Your unique journey and through life and how you resonate or not resonate with my music, you might hate it, for example. That's okay. God bless. Is entirely unique to you, not me. And so I'm not trying to profess with what I'm saying right now and where the origins are on that you should feel what I feel. Absolutely not. If my music has resonated with you in some way and you feel a certain way about it, I love that. And please share in comments, or please reach out to me or whatever. I love to hear from people around what made them feel, because that's why I created this. Being so alone from when I made that life decision and having to reset, and a lot of people doubted my reset and why I was doing that and things like that. It was my choice, and I'm so happy I made it. But it meant that I had to do other things to not feel alone, to find that human connection, and that's what the music did for me. So that's where then signal intent, following the direction. And then Cascade Protocol which is the 4-track mini-series at the end of the album, essentially not only follows the direction, but commits. So I'm not saying I double down and I'm leaving my industry and IT for music or anything like that, but saying, no, I'm committing to a new direction, and that direction is not specifically music. This may be a short journey for me, who knows? But it's a direction about life. I want to make sure that not only my family is looked after, because I'm the primary breadwinner or income earner, as I said, but also that I'm trying to live my dreams as best I can, whilst I'm still living up to my responsibilities to my family and friends, if that makes sense. And that, everyone, is the first iteration of PrittiVisious song Origins. I hope that makes some sort of sense, and if it resonates, great. Would love to hear your thoughts on how either through the Aperture album or any song that I've created may have resonated with you. Even if you don't like it, that's your opinion. You're allowed to do that, and I welcome that. But I just hope that if you are listening to this or watching this and something has resonated, I'm so glad that I was able to make some sort of human connection. We sometimes feel that we're always alone, but I do feel through music and technology, what I'm doing right now, allows us to connect. So I hope you all have a good day. I better get back to the office. This is David Tab, aka PrittiVisious. Peace out.